Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news, and we're talking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last chance, your best Manchester United 11, and some very interesting news coming out of Germany tonight about Niklas Sule, who is a centre-back at Bayern Munich who dreams at playing for Manchester United and only has 18 months left on his contract. So very, very interested to see how that's going to play out. And look, let's get on with the show. Just a big shout out to OneFootball who are sponsoring the show tonight. Brand new. I'm pleased. Well, look, I'm pleased to say that they're sponsoring us tonight. Brand new look, better graphics, bigger attitude, whole new vibe. They make it cleaner, simple, and smarter than ever. That said, underneath it's still the same old OneFootball app where you can get all your live scores, all your stats, football transfer news, and keep up to date with your club, Manchester United. Head to the description below and download it for free using the link in the video description. Big shout out to OneFootball up for that. How are we all doing anyway? Apologies about the stream before. This has happened before where some people think it's funny to say that it's buffering and it's not. There clearly was a problem, so I apologise for that, and we are back up and running. Sully isn't slow, says Inside Air. And this is something that I'll put my hands up and say, Sully, he's one of those players. I have seen him play quite a lot, but when people talk about Sully, Niklas Sule, who's a German centre-back, plays for Bayern Munich, I do think slow because he's tall. I've got to be fair. I do think slow, and I can't. It's very unfair because actually he's quite quick. A lot of people say that he's one of the quickest players at the club. His acceleration speed isn't great, but once he's actually sprinting, very, very, very good. So I think it's an interesting thing. Now he has come out and said that it's a dream of his to play for Manchester United. Why do you think it's a dream of his to play for Manchester United? Because Sule is his name. I couldn't give a shit. Really could not give a shit tonight. And actually, I've been getting names wrong for 5 years, so don't try and tell me how to say a name. I'll say it how I like. It probably is wrong. But he has only got... His contract is up in 2022. It's like Paul Pogba. Actually, 2022 is not... Yes, 2022, his contract is up because it's 2021 next year. I've lost a year. So yeah, his contract is up at the same time as Paul Pogba, as Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's got 18 months left on his contract. And is this why his dream move is to come and play for Manchester United? Maybe. Could you call my mate Connor O'Donnell a prat for his birthday? Love the show, says Keano Flaherty. We are going to be taking some of your questions. Mark Ryan, yeah, I am a bit touchy tonight. I really don't care what anybody says about that. This is life. I've had a shit day. I've been, lots of things going wrong. But you know what? The show must go on, and it always does go on. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and sorry to those people who don't understand that sometimes people are a little bit tetchy, but there you go. Shut the exit door on your way out. I do like it. I do like the fact that we're linked with a centre back that does fit with what we're looking at, though. Do I believe anything about it? Probably not. I don't think so. I think it's probably more about when a player comes out with 18 months left on their contract and says it's my dream to play for another club. It's very rare that you get that. It's very rare that you get that. We got it with. We got it with Cristiano Ronaldo wanting to go to Real Madrid. Of course we did. And that worked out quite well for Real Madrid. Very well, in fact. They probably got one of the world's best ever players. Welcome to the Members Club, Brijesh. But I don't believe this. I think this is a centre-back that Bayern Munich are going to want to keep for a very long time. And I think that he's also a centre-back that is probably, being German, living the dream. Correct me if I'm wrong, he's also a player that's been out injured for quite a while as well. So I don't think there's anything in it. I'd like there to be something in it. Is he the player to play alongside Harry Maguire? I don't know. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure actually. I think I do like him, but. Yeah, I'm not so sure. But look, that's news for tonight. That's breaking news tonight. It's sort of coming out from Bild, which is a German outlet. That Sule or Solly or whatever his name is would dreams of playing for Manchester United. What do you think about it? Bring it into the show. The second thing I want to talk about before we talk about Ollie, because I think it's a very excited to have Premier League football back. And have no doubts this is Solskjaer's last chance saloon. I don't like saying that really. I don't put the pressure on it. Well, some would say we do put the pressure on him. I suppose we are a contributor to that. We are the United Stand community is a very big community, and we do have our say on that. Of course we do. But I do think that he is in that last chance saloon now at Manchester United, whereby he has got no room for error. He's got to go on a good run of fixtures. And look, the fact is, whoever you speak to, whether it's someone from Sky or BBC or whatever Manchester United correspondent you talk to, there is a real acceptance that, look, everybody likes Ollie, everyone wants him to do well, but he's not on the edge because they beat Everton and he's got some winnable games. But if he has another slip, the patience will not be there. And I don't think a slip is necessarily one bad result. But as we've seen with United, look at the first 3 games of the season: lost 2 and drew 1. I think that when I say that's the sort of slip I'm talking about. If he has a bad 3 games anytime between now and Christmas, I think the pressure will be too much and he will be gone. So he is in that last chance saloon. But as we know with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, everybody laughs about it. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is under threat, he tends to do quite well. We should ask him to prove it and send us a picture with a jersey of United when he was young, says Sam. And welcome to the Members Club, Ryan Brooks. Yeah, thank you for supporting the channel. Really appreciate your support tonight. It's been a really crappy day, to be honest with you. So thanks everyone who's tuning in and has waited. We had problems with the 8 o'clock show, so I really appreciate it. And if you want to chuck some questions in tonight, I will answer them because I do like the Friday night show. Let's just get rid of Trevor. Can't be arsed with idiots tonight. So, what really interests me tonight is that I'd seen Manchester Evening News were doing this over the international break. And basically, they ran this poll to pick your best Manchester United 11. What would Manchester United fans' 11 be if they were picking the team for tomorrow? Really interesting what team they came out with. So, David De Gea, loads of United fans voted for this on the Manchester Evening News website. David De Gea in goal. It's really interesting. I think it's good and bad, so we're interested to see what you think. David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Luke Shaw was left back. I thought definitely people would vote Telles in, but they vote Luke Shaw in, which I think shows a level of intelligence, actually. I don't know which way I would go. I haven't seen enough of Telles, but Luke Shaw has been very good for us this season, and defensively he's very sound. So they had Luke Shaw at left back, Wan-Bissaka at right back. The centre-backs were Twansebi and Lindelof. So Maguire was not picked. Thousands of people voted on the Manchester Evening News website for this. And their back 4 was Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Twansebi, Wan-Bissaka, and obviously David De Gea was their back 5. I don't know what you think about that. I mean, that was voted for by Manchester United fans. I don't know whether it'd be voted for by the United Stand community. I'm interested to see, would you make any change to that? I would probably put Luke Shaw there at the moment, but I'm interested to see what Telles is going to do, and I think you could speculate and put Telles in there. But the centre-back pairing of Lindelof and Twansebi, I personally would go Twansebi and Maguire. That's the change I would make out of that back 4. But there you go. And Sheaf Leaf Gamer says, yeah, I'd go with that. And sounds good to me, says Paul Robinson. And that's perfect, says KS. Telles for sure, says Leo. Muzz says he'd put Jones in. Maguire and Twansebi, says Abdul Akhtar II. And Mark, do you think with Alaba at CDM we will be able to play Bruno and Pogba, says Manav? No, I think Alaba's a centre-back, to be honest. And McTominay is centre-back, says Carl Johnson. I don't think anybody did that, but Muniz says that's all right by me. So then moving into the midfield, it was McTominay and Fred. So, it's weird. It's really weird because it was McTominay and Fred who were the midfield 2. So even though I moan that McTominay and Fred are 2 players doing one person's job, thousands of Manchester United fans on the Manchester Evening News website went with McTominay and Fred, who I think are very, very popular. I mean, look, I don't really care. I don't like them as a midfield 2. I think that Matic or Pogba should play. I think they're better. But interestingly, most people went with McTominay and Fred. So there you go. Lindelof is our best centre-back, says Yazza Said. Killian says I'd go Pogba and Fred. McFred is top quality, says Paul McLennan. And McFred, no for me, says Mohammed. They do the job, says Gabrielle. So yeah, it's quite interesting that, isn't it? How that worked out. Then Bruno Fernandes was ahead of them, which I don't think we would surprise about. Hope you're in with that with heart. Use United Stand power base, create coup, build equity, buy United shares, says Kay. I'm bored of that. Thanks for the super chat, but I'm bored of that stuff. Use the United Stand community and buy Manchester United. I mean, fucking hell. I'm in a bad enough mood as it is today without stupid comments like that. Buy Manchester United shares. What are you talking about? I'm not a millionaire. Is any of you a millionaire? Even if we're a millionaire, we can't buy Man. That's such stupid comment. Like, realistically, how is the United Stand community going to buy Manchester United Football Club? It's worth billions. Even if we all put £1 in, we wouldn't get £1 million. It's just, you can't do it. You cannot do it like that. These people who say empower the fan base and buy the club back, it isn't going to work like that. It's been like this for 15 years with the Glazers. We can't just buy the fucking club. It's not going to happen like that. There needs to be a viable person, a billionaire out there to buy this bloody football club. And if we haven't got that, we've got the Glazers. Why do you think everybody just puts up with it? Because we as fans cannot wrestle this football club back. That opportunity went when we sold them to the Glazers, and now it's too expensive for anybody to do that. Unless there's a billionaire Manchester United fan out there, then you're talking. That's who you need to get in. You need to track down billionaire Manchester United fans and email them. That's going to be far more proactive. In fact, I'll tell you what. I'll help you now. If we've got a billionaire United Stand member or viewer, can you please buy Manchester United Football Club? Because your help us, billionaire Man United fan. You're our only hope. A bit like Princess Leia there. But yeah, so McTominay and Fred and Bruno was the midfield three. I mean, for me, I would put Pogba in there. I'll probably put Van der Beek in there, probably put Matic in there. But I don't think McTominay and Fred are the solution, and I think we're going to find that out over the next few weeks and months. But the front three, remember this is voted for by the Manchester Evening News fan. What are they? Not listeners. What are you? Manchester Evening News did it and thousands of Man United fans voted for it. I suppose I would say that. The front three will blow your mind. Van der Beek, Rashford and Cavani. I mean, I don't think you, the United Stand community, would pick a team like that as United's best team. So this was voted for on the Manchester Evening News website by thousands of United fans. And I think that this says a lot to me about different communities, because I don't for 1 minute think that you, the United Stand community, if we did a best United 11, would have De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof and Twansebi, McTominay and Fred and Bruno, Cavani, Rashford and Van der Beek. No way. Like, no. Cavani, Rashford and Van der Beek as a front three. Hello? Where's Anthony Martial? Is he on holiday? Are you having a bloody laugh? Are you having a laugh? Martial not in the team. So I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I do like the fact that Van der Beek's playing to the right, but Martial's got to be in that team. Exactly. Exactly. Where's Martial, says Glenn Ore. Exactly. Cavani's got to start for me, says Ben Anderson. Based on what? Based on what? A tap-in against Everton, you're going to drop Martial for Cavani? I think the disrespect is ridiculous. Cavani's got to start for me based on a tap-in against fucking Everton. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. Martial was our player of the year last year. We're dropping Martial for Cavani. I mean, come on. I think Cavani can be a good player. It's like picking Telles over Luke Shaw at the moment. Like, Telles hasn't done anything yet. Martial is the... And also, if you're going to play Cavani, put Rashford on the bench. Like, why? How does Rashford get in ahead of Martial? So, my team, I don't know what your team would be. De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Twansebi, Fred and Pogba with Bruno, Van der Beek to the right, Rashford to the left, Martial up front. So I would go 4-3-3. I would use that midfield that played well against Sevilla. So it's Fred, Pogba and Bruno. Obviously, Pogba's got to be playing well and he's got to be fit. I'm not talking about Pogba of 3 weeks ago. Van der Beek where Mata is, Rashford on the left, Martial down the middle. I think that is United's best team for me. De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Twansebi, Maguire, Luke Shaw, or Telles at the moment. Bruno, Fred, Pogba, Rashford, Martial and Van der Beek. That's my best team. Killian agrees with me. I think that's Manchester United's best team at the moment. Cavani can prove himself, but Martial's got to play. And you know what as well? Can I just say? I'll give you another one. I'll give you another alternative. Same back five, diamond midfield, Matic holding the diamond, Fred and Van der Beek, Bruno, Cavani, Martial. So Pogba's on the bench. If I did a diamond, I'd do it differently. I'd have Matic at the base, Fred and Van der Beek as the legs, back box to box, Bruno at the head of the diamond, Cavani and Martial. But Telles would have to play in that system because of his crossing ability. So, if you're asking me, I think you can play two. Aidan Coffey says MEN readers are Prats. Well, I do think you get different types of fans who read different things, but I just was like, I was very surprised by their front three of Cavani, Rashford and Van der Beek, and I thought, you know what, I trust that this community wouldn't do that. I'm all right. Everything's fine, LCT. I'm just I've had a very, very tiring week. And remember, it was only 6 days ago I was live all day doing that. Well, we were live, a lot of us doing that 15,000 in a day charity stream, and I've just not had a lot of sleep since, and I think I've just been running on empty a little bit this week, and I'm just tired. And then obviously we had the 8 o'clock stream, and it's the last stream of the week, and you just want to get. I enjoy the Friday night stream. I haven't even got my beer in my hand. I normally have a beer in my hand, and we have a nice chat and that, and then that goes wrong. So I was just a bit pissed off tonight, to be honest with you. But look, I could have just left it and said I'm not doing a video, but I want to do the video because interacting with you people, I've said it for the last 5 years. Whatever you think, it helps. And yeah, I present the show and the United stand and whatever, but I said on the very first show, and I'll say it on this show now, you make the show. It's this community, it's everybody, and I'm not just talking to a camera. I am, but there is a live comments going up and down, and you help me. So if I just walked away from that last stream and gone, I'm not doing it now, throw my toys in the pram or toys out the pram or whatever, I'd have been moody for the rest of the night. It's important to get back, get on the show and start interacting with people like yourselves, and I feel a lot calmer now. So thanks everyone for that, and I feel fine now. I want to get into the chat. Let's do that. It's Friday night. Let's get into the chat. Chuck me some questions, and love the community, says Lucas, and I really appreciate it. So tomorrow, Jaden, just a very quick question. You can, if you want one of these. Merry Christmas, you bloody prat. I was wearing this because I've just done a FIFA stream, and lots of people want me to do Goldbridge stuff, so I'd worn this to say you can get it. But if you do want one of our Christmas jumpers, links in the video description for it. If you live outside the UK, I would get your order in this weekend, preferably tonight, because delivery times, with the way the world is at the moment, you will want it for Christmas. So links in the video description. I'm not a bit drunk. I've not even had a drink. That's really offensive. I've not had one drink tonight, so that's very offensive to say I'm drunk when I haven't even had a drink. I am doing a Spurs versus City watch along tomorrow at 5:30, and then straight after we'll be on here for the United stand. That'll be on Mark Goldbridge. That's football. And Paul Robinson with a good question. One of our moderators. He says, the way we're playing, who actually deserves to start? Go and get a beer. We forgive you, says Megan's dad. Thank you. I think based on... look, I'm very excited about tomorrow. As I said, to me, this is Solskjaer's last chance saloon. Key questions coming in, actually. I do want to just delve into that. Look, the way I think it's going to go, I said it this afternoon in the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference, the way I think it's going to go, I think that we're going to be in a situation whereby he's going to have to go on a really good run of fixtures. Look, I'll put the question to you. What do you think is going to happen over the next few weeks? If I read this out to you now, this is our, all right. Yeah, okay. West Brom, this is our next few fixtures. West Brom, Istanbul, Southampton away, PSG at home, West Ham away, Leipzig away, Man City, I think, at home, Sheffield United, Leeds. Are we going to win enough of those games to keep the pressure off Ollie, or do you think we will lose a couple and the Wolves will be out again? I'm not talking about Wolverhampton Wanderers. The thought is take Cavani out and Martial in, says Kevin Emmanuel. And while the United stand can buy the club, here's the thing. If we get 1 million subscribers to donate $4,000, that'll be $4 billion. Yeah, you really think every United stand subscriber can afford $4,000? Come on. Flex and KG were on last night, Callum. Keep up. There's a homepage. Just check the homepage. I think Ollie's going to be in trouble, says Gustav. It's a preferable run for Ollie. This should be go time, says Paul Robinson. And if he wins a few and gets off the hook, we're still going to be in the same place in February, says Andrew Lovell. I think that's very true as well. I think that if he can beat West Brom and Istanbul, which he should do, and then he wins against Southampton, and he doesn't get beat by PSG, I think he's probably safe for a while then. But he's got to take this run. I wonder if Poch will be a pundit again tomorrow. I wonder if seeing that would affect Ollie, says Craig Thomas Miller. And Mark, get Sazawas. I can't pronounce this look, I'm crap at names, Balaz. And you're asking me to pronounce the name of this lad from Salzburg that everyone never shuts up about. I can't even begin to try and pronounce it. It begins with an S and it's got a Z in it. I know Arsenal want him. He's only 20 and already looking to win the Golden Boy Award. Well, we won't get him. We won't get him, will we? That's what I would have. Martial on the right, Cavani down the centre, Rashford on the bench. His current form is being overlooked for some reason, says Ben Anderson. You know what? Martial's one of those players, isn't he? Let's just speak about that for a moment. Martial's one of those players that does get a lot of criticism. He's a divider, isn't he? I don't understand it. I love Anthony Martial. He's one of my favourite players at United and has been since he came to the club. The same Bruno Fernandes. I like Paul Pogba. I don't put him in the same category as, my affection as a footballer for Bruno and Martial, but I do like Pogba. I like Rashford. Rashford's one of my favourite players as well. But those four players really divide our fan base more than anybody. People are either obsessively Rashford or don't like him, obsessively Pogba or don't like him, obsessively Martial or don't like him, or obsessively Bruno or don't like him. It's weird because without question, they're probably our four best players at the club. And yet within our fan base, different fans like different players of those four. But Martial has had a very stop-start season. Obviously, he played the first few games of the season. We were crap, so you couldn't really judge him on that. Then he got sent off, and he obviously hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League this season. So he's had a very stop-start season. But I think, on the other hand, so's Marcus Rashford, because Marcus Rashford has had some really amazing moments this season. If you think about his hat-trick against Leipzig and, the goal he scored against, was it Brighton? And, but then he's had some really bad performances as well. So I think Rashford it's frustrating, isn't it? The one thing that we struggle with is consistency. Whether it's Rashford, Martial, Pogba, Ole, Man United, consistency is the thing that holds us back. Is Maguire really better suited as a right-sided centre-back? He excelled at Leicester on the left, and also the lack of class, a right winger with a first touch limits Maguire's diagonal lobs. PS, just copped the Bruno jumper. Thank you, Joe and Daniel. Hello, Mark. Hope you're well, mate, says PJ Pennington. Thanks for all the nice comments tonight from everybody. Really appreciate that. I think that's a really good question from Jawin about Harry Maguire, because I was listening to the radio last night. I was driving back from London and they were talking about what's England's best Euro team. Don't worry, I'm not going to depress you. I'm not going to talk about that. But what they were saying is, as the left-sided centre-back, because Gareth Southgate plays with a back five and he plays three centre-backs, so a central one, a right side and a left one, they were basically saying on the radio that left-sided centre-back for England needs to be a left footer, because they're not playing two. You can get away with a right-sided left centre-back when you're playing a two, but when you're playing three centre-backs, surely the left-sided centre-back's got to be left-footed because he's playing to that left-hand side. And what they were saying is that it shouldn't be Harry Maguire, it should be Tyrone Mings or maybe a Chilwell or maybe a Luke Shaw, because you need a left-footer because it opens and balances the pitch. If you're a left-footer on the left side of the pitch and you get the ball, you're naturally facing that way and you've got the ball on the left-hand side, you can switch the play, you can play it down the line. If you're a right-footed player, you're like that. How are you going to play it down the line? It's impossible to play it down the line. You're almost putting it out of play. So Harry Maguire does play well as a right-footed, left-sided centre-back, but you're far better if you've got a left-footed centre-back, because the pitch opens up more because you are naturally balanced. So I think Maguire does play well as a left-sided centre-back, but I think he's surely going to be better as a right-sided centre-back, and we'd be a better team with a left-footed one, to be honest with you. Maguire's got a 4-star weak foot, says Matab. I don't think his left foot's that good at all, actually. But it's not. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as bloody Ashley Young. Left back. I've never seen a more right-footed left back in my life. Mark is a player with 3 legs. Oh, I don't know what that's all about. Keep the questions coming in. Do you think we can get Alaba in January, says Killian? I think it's a deal we won't do, but I think it's a deal that we could do. He's out of contract in the summer. Look, Sule, who we spoke about, he's out of contract next summer, not the summer coming up. Ramos is out of contract the summer after next, or maybe it's this summer with Ramos. Upamecano's got a release clause in the summer, but David Alaba's out of contract in the summer. So as soon as it hits January, which is 5-6 weeks away, we can talk to David Alaba. The problem is Juventus will talk to him, and I think he'll end up going to Juventus. He's Alaba's Swiss, isn't he? So I don't know. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to come to England, but I'd love David Alaba, and mainly because he's only just 28 and he's got a left foot. He's left-footed. You've mentioned you don't think Ole can win the league. Wouldn't that mean he isn't the man for the job since we need to win titles, says Thomason Adiola? He's Austrian, not Swiss. Thank you. Thank you, Manchester is red. I did hear something today about Ronaldo. I want to come back to that Ole question. Okay, remind me about Ronaldo. It's quite a good thing. On the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing, and I say this with honesty because I think we need to be honest. That's what this community is. Please smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 1,000 likes tonight. It's been a challenging night if you were here at the start, so thank you. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, can he win the league? At this moment in time, no. Is it impossible for him to win the league? No. Do I want him to be the manager of Manchester United and be successful? Yes. At the moment, I don't believe he can be. I'm hoping he can be. And I've spoken about this too many times to go into it again. I don't believe Solskjaer's the right man. I hope he's the right man. But there's many things about United I hope about that I don't believe. I don't believe we've got a good board. I don't believe we're good in the transfer market. I hope we can be, but I don't believe in this football club. I don't believe in a lot of these players. I don't believe in this manager, to be honest with you. And people will say, well, why are you backing him then if you don't believe in him? Because belief is something that you've got a strong conviction about. I don't believe because the evidence doesn't lend that belief. But I do hope. And what I would say is that you should, this year, we're never going to forget this year. We'll never forget this year. It's been horrific, absolutely horrific. You know, whether it's football or your personal life, everybody's been affected by this. Just about every country in the whole world. I mean, who would have thought when we came into... I was joking about this the other day. I was having a drink with some... with the wife on a Zoom call with some family, and I said, we spent New Year's Eve with them last year. I said, remember when last year New Year's Eve we're setting off the fireworks and everything like that? What a bunch of prats. If only we'd known. Well, obviously we didn't know, but what a year it's been. And this isn't a positive, what I'm about to say, but in a totally footballing sense, in what's been a really challenging year, the fallout from that is that we've got this league this season that's going to really kick in from tomorrow, that in the most amazing way could be the most infuriating and frustrating league we ever have, but in another way we could win the league. And the way I see, I'm not saying we're going to win the league, I hope we win the league, but look at that league. Aston Villa went to Arsenal. Arsenal beat us at Old Trafford and deserved to, and Aston Villa went to Arsenal and played them off the park. Aston Villa smashed Liverpool at Villa Park. Southampton have come back from 2-0 down against Chelsea. You know, anybody can beat Leicester. I think have won every game away, and they're playing Liverpool on Sunday night. Everybody's beating everybody, and anybody can beat everybody. So when you look at United fixtures, I mean, look, West Brom, we should beat them, but Southampton away, West Ham away, these are the sort of teams that can beat you on the day at the moment. So when it comes to the league title, if you can find some semblance of consistency, anybody can win this league title. Now, of course, Liverpool are the favourites, and of course, Chelsea an outsider. Man City are probably the favourites at the moment because of the injury crisis that Liverpool have got. But when everybody's beating everybody, suddenly, is there a favourite anymore? And I think between now and Christmas, because we've got to play Man City and we've got to see what's going to happen, now that the international breaks are out the way, are we going to see somebody find some consistency, or are we actually going to see what I think we're going to see, which is more and more and more and more dodgy results? Because remember, Southampton ain't playing in Europe. We've got to go Premier League, well, us, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Leicester as well. We've all got to go Premier League this weekend, Europe midweek. Premier League the weekend after, Europe midweek. Premier League the weekend after, Europe then. Then Europe parks, but then you go Premier League midweek, Premier League, Carabao Cup, Premier League, all over Christmas. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And we could find ourselves in a situation over the next few weeks where we're going, oh my God, we're on a really good run. We've got a good squad. You know, look at our bench at the moment. For tomorrow, you're probably going to see Van der Beek on the bench, Pogba on the bench, Matic on the bench, maybe Greenwood on the bench, Cavani on the bench. All those players can come into the first team. We could go on a really good run. And whilst we go on a good run, everyone else could keep dropping points and being inconsistent. And we could end up second by Christmas. On the other hand, we could get 4 or 5 injuries and end up in the bottom half, and Ole could be sacked. So it's going to be very, very interesting to watch. Very interesting to watch from a Premier League football point of view, but very interesting to watch from a Manchester United point of view, because I think anything's possible. How do you, Flex, know each other? Meet, start the United stance as KJ Bez. And welcome to the Members Club, Abdaran Al Gamadi, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for joining us. You can do that by clicking the join button. You get your badge next to your name. Can we see a bit of Santa Bridge from the members, actually? That might cheer me up a little bit. I've got to talk about Ronaldo as well. So KG was on a fan cam with Flex. That's how they met. And that went from there. And me and Flex met through a mutual friend. And it went from there. So, yeah, long time ago. But there's Santa Bridge. I feel happy now. Santa Bridge from the members. Thank you, Shane, Flex and Gar. Really appreciate that. Jack D, that's not Santa Bridge. I don't know what that is. You joker. And thank you, Ian. So Ronaldo, let me just talk to you about Ronaldo for a moment. I need to do a little bit of research on this, but I had heard that, and this is just putting this out there, and I'll try and find something out a little bit more for you tomorrow morning on the 10 a.m. show. But I have heard that Juventus are trying to offload Dybala and another player, and it may well be Ronaldo. They're trying to get rid of wages. Now, I don't know how true that is, and I don't just throw out half-truths. I got a message about this tonight. I haven't had a chance to follow it up, and I will do for tomorrow morning's show, and I'll find out a little bit more. But it was from a decent source, and they were saying that Juventus have got problems and they're trying to offload big earners. Dybala's definitely one they're trying to offload, and Ronaldo might be one as well. I don't know about that. But it's going to be interesting because Italy have got no chance of getting fans back in the ground, and much the same as the Premier League. So people are losing money, and the thing about Juventus is they made a lot of money when they got Ronaldo, but where's the bounce now? Where is that bounce now? Welcome to the Members Club, George. Thank you. So a little bit of it, might be something in that. Would you take Dybala at Manchester United? I'll ask you some questions. I wouldn't take Dybala at Manchester United. I was a little bit excited about it when we went for him last summer, the summer before last. But I've always been a big fan of Dybala, and I've spoken a lot about him on That's Football when we're doing watch-alongs on there. But I don't think he'd suit the Premier League. I don't think he's going to be like a David Silva or a Sergio Aguero or a De Bruyne or anything like that. I don't think Dybala would suit the Premier League. He's a very good player, but he ain't consistent. And you know what? Man United need consistent. I think the brilliance of signing Bruno Fernandes, or the brilliance of bringing in a Ronaldo or a David Alaba or someone, or an Upamecano or someone like that, is that at their clubs they've shown great consistency. Dybala hasn't shown great consistency at Juventus. He's shown great talent. I don't think he fits what United need. I think we need some. We can't add any more. On their day, they're brilliant players. We can't add any more of those. He's consistent. He's a very good, consistent player. We don't need any more. On their day, he's unbeatable. We don't need that anymore. And he snubbed us as well, says Nicky. Exactly, Nicky. We haven't had a right winger for ages, says Ray's East. Oh, I genuinely think that Donny van der Beek can play off the right wing. Not off the right wing. In the system that we played against Everton, the 4-2-3-1, with Mata off the right, that's where Donny van der Beek can play. Mata is not a winger. He's slower than me. He's slower than me. I guarantee you I beat Mata in a sprint. In fact, Juan, let's do it for charity. Goldbridge against Juan Mata. I reckon I can beat Mata in a sprint. I don't think he's very quick at all, and I'm definitely not quick. Imagine if he did do that for charity. He's got a charity. Let's do it. But on the serious note, Juan Mata's not quick. Donny van der Beek is quicker than Mata, so he can do the tracking back role better than Mata can. Mata is not a skillful winger that whips in a cross. In fact, Juan Mata's left-footed, isn't he? So Donny van der Beek is right-footed. So Donny van der Beek and Juan Mata will swap with Bruno. Well, so can Donny van der Beek. That position where Mata plays for Manchester United, Donny van der Beek can do it 10 times better. That's where Donny van der Beek can play. We haven't got a winger. I totally agree. We do need a winger. We haven't got a winger. I think the only winger we've really got is Dan James. Mason Greenwood's not a winger, and Marcus Rashford's not a winger. They are attacking players that actually are quite selfish. Nothing wrong with that. They score great goals, and that's great. But what we need from the width, especially with Martial and Cavani, whoever plays, they need service. Tellez is going to start putting some service in there. Wan-Bissaka needs to be better at it, but we do need a right winger. But look, if you're going to play Mata, you can play Donny van der Beek, definitely. Mata's a cam. Yeah, Stephen's right. Look, Mata is a cam, and so is Donny van der Beek, really. But if Mata can play in that right-sided midfield position, then so can Donny van der Beek, definitely. Welcome to the Members Club, Mark Dobby. Hit that like button, says Lucas. We are very close to 1,000 likes, so thank you very much. I describe you as the hardcore tonight, the people who hung around even though you got it. So thank you very much. I still think Martial is a true winger, says Aidan Coffey. I tell you what, I think that's a great point. Where do we think Martial's going to end up? What's Martial's future? I tell you what, forget that. 3 years' time, what's Martial doing? 3 years' time, he'll be like 26, 27. What's Martial doing in 3 years' time? Where's he playing? Who's he playing for? I think Anthony Martial in 3 years' time could go one of two ways. He could be playing for Juventus or Bayern Munich or Barcelona up front, or he could still be at Manchester United up front, left wing, whatever. I hope he's playing at Manchester United, winning titles as our striker. But I think Martial falls into that category of uncertainty where we hope that's going to happen. I love Martial. I think he's a fantastic player, but he is one of those players, like many, like Pogba, like Marcus Rashford, like a lot of our players. They get almost infected by the inconsistency of the club. And, you know, Martial isn't going to be a 30 goal a season striker in that United side. It's impossible, because how do you get 30 goals in a season for a team that's inconsistent? You know, sometimes we go to places and he doesn't even get a shot on goal for 3 or 4 games. So, yeah, I'd love to see... I'll tell you what, as an experiment, I'd love to see Anthony Martial play up front for Liverpool for 10 games. I mean, look, I don't want to see it in real life, but I'd just love to... I'd just love to see what would happen with Anthony Martial or a Barcelona team or a Real Madrid team. I'd love to see what would happen with Martial in a side that creates a lot of chances, because I think he would be a 30 goal a season striker, and I think he wants to play up front himself. And like Deschamps said this week, there's a large aspect to Martial's game that people say, put him on the wing, he's good on the wing. But if Martial plays up front tomorrow, just watch him. He runs off the ball, his hold-up play is fantastic. And Firmino gets a lot of stick at Liverpool, but it's absolutely fantastic what Martial does. Would you swap Pogba for Ronaldo and 35 million, AJ? Yes. Mate, I'd consider swapping Pogba for Ronaldo and no money. Like, I really would. I would consider swapping Pogba for Ronaldo and no money. So if you're going to give some money, great. Welcome to the Members Club, Cool Air Heater. Who could we realistically get as a CDM mark? Well, that's from Zenex. I like Declan Rice. I mean, look, Zakaria looks quite good. I'm not convinced he's a total CDM, but he looks quite good. But he has been injured a lot. You know, there will be players out there. To me, I would love Manchester United to go and get a centre defensive midfielder from France or Spain or Portugal or somewhere like that, a 21, 22-year-old that's doing really well at a club and they're ready to take the next step up. I think we can find somebody. Zanderberg, I do like Rahul. I haven't seen a lot of him this season, and Sheffield United haven't been good this season, but I do like him. But I want Man United to get a real top quality CDM. The interesting thing is, Manchester United are not looking for a top-class CDM. Does that not tell you there's a problem with our coaching? We are not looking for a top-class CDM. We're happy playing McFred, neither of which I think are a top CDM. Fred could be. I don't think McTominay's ever going to be a top-class CDM. I think he's too tall. He's too tall. Smaller teams bypass him. He's not quick enough. He can't do the job on his own. So we do need a top-class CDM. I'd love us to get Declan Rice, but we know where he's going to go. He's going to go to Chelsea. Lemar at Leipzig's very, very good. Yep, he is. But I don't think United are actually looking for a CDM, and I've been saying it's a position we should be looking at for the last 2 years. What do you remember about the first few years under Sir Alex Ferguson? Any parallels? If so, maybe that is the reason enough to give Ollie another chance, as Banerjee. Right, Sir Alex Ferguson came into the club in the mid-80s. Well, 86, wasn't it, I think? I don't remember anything about that. I was a tiny little kid. I barely remember anything really of tactical football. I don't really remember much of anything before like the early 90s because I was just too young. I remember a lot of results. I remember us winning the FA Cup in 90, and I remember I remember some results in the late 80s, but I don't remember what we were like tactically. I don't remember how we used to play football. Ed Woodward and the Glazers won't have a bloody clue what happened in the 90s. So their parallels with what happened with Sir Alex Ferguson, they've got no idea. And for me, there are no parallels because Sir Alex Ferguson came in from Aberdeen, where he'd broken up the the Celtic and Rangers domination. And Scottish football in the 80s was very, very good. He had a pedigree. He was one of the best young managers in the world. And he had a plan and a strategy. And he broke the club down and he built it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is never going to be what Sir Alex Ferguson is. Nobody will. So there are no parallels in my mind. That might seem harsh, but there isn't. Anyway, look, we've gone on a little bit later, but I thought I needed to get a little bit back. So need centre-back before a CDM, says Andrea Bryan. So yeah, tune into the show tomorrow morning. I'm going to find out what I can about this Ronaldo story, which I think is going to be very interesting. We have got the 10 o'clock show tomorrow, and then tomorrow night we've got the game. Very excited about that. So lots and lots. Please do download the OneFootball app. It's free. It's on Apple and Android. You can get all your football news on there, live scores, stats, and all your Manchester United news on there. Links in the video description. Thank you, OneFootball, for sponsoring the show. I just want to say a big thank you to all of you as well. Very challenging day, very challenging first stream. But look, the community is fantastic, and I really, really did enjoy taking your questions. I think that's the thing for me that I really enjoy about the Friday night show is, yeah, we'll talk about a little bit of topical stuff, but then we can get into the questions. And I've really enjoyed that last half an hour because we don't do it enough where we get to actually sit and chat about things like what we spoke about. So I really enjoyed that. Big shout out. Get a good bit of rest wherever you are. Look forward to tomorrow. The watch-along's back, and it's going to be hectic. The next 7, 8, 9 weeks, it's just relentless with matches. And one thing's for sure, it's either going to be great or good. It's either going to be great or bad. Because inconsistent's bad for me now. Win, win, draw, lose, lose, win, draw, lose. Don't want any more of that. Want win, 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 draw, win, 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 draw. I don't want any of this bloody inconsistency. Speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great time and take care, and I'll speak to you in a bit.